our boy Kyle Pitts, which seems like some of the drama is not necessarily coming to an end with the franchise tag. You're just kind of kicking the can down the road here a little bit.
Yep.
Now, the franchise price, I think, is roughly $16 million. 15 to 16 million is what he's going to get paid. What we're looking at is an average, I guess, of the top tight ends, just kind of how franchise tags tend to work for whatever position you tend to get tagged for. And the tag applied to Pitts is actually 15 because the standard tag is 16.3, but he's been being guaranteed 15 million for the next year. And or for this upcoming season, I don't mind this because we didn't pay him like 50, 60 million dollars. You know what I mean? Like, I don't mind it only because I don't know, Eugene. I'm skeptical because at this point, even if we paid the guy 15, 16 million dollars, that's $1 million for every touchdown he's had since he's been here, the entirety of the time he's been here. I was discussing this with somebody else today, and they were talking about the fact that he hasn't played with the best quarterbacks all the time, and that may be an excuse for him, right?
Okay.
But I don't feel like when you look at a tight end like Trey McBride that he's played with the best QBs. Trey McBride wasn't drafted as high as Kyle Pitts was drafted. I feel like if you're good, then you are good. Maybe this is a situation where because Pitts, the way that where we drafted him at, because you know how sometimes teams, if you draft a guy in the 4th round, then you don't really care about him as much as if you drafted the guy 4th. You know, then you're more vested in the guy that you kind of put not necessarily your whole reputation, because so many people who drafted him aren't even here anymore, but you kind of you hope that he turns into something else. I think one of the things that these teams don't want to do is ever have a great player and a top 5, 10 player that leaves their team, goes somewhere else, and then becomes what they thought they were when they drafted that player at that position originally. So teams kind of hold on to you a little bit more because they don't want to see you go somewhere else and become an actual top 4 pick, you know, and you're like, what? And then, you know, so I get why you did it, but at the same time, I'm kind of glad that we didn't go down the whole, I'm kind of glad we didn't go down the whole 4 or 5 year extension situation right now, because I need to see more. And this comes off to me as a Seymour contract. Maybe they will negotiate down the line. What are your thoughts on that?
No, I agree. He's had moments, and I think the moments he's had is warranted this franchise tag. I completely agree with you. Let's not hitch our wagon to him long term. Franchise tag him, go through the year, and you know,
see hopefully
he can see what happens. And there's again, we don't have a lot of draft capital this year, and there are a lot of tight ends in this coming. You know, a lot of not like star talented tight ends, but there's a lot of tight ends. You know, so there wasn't, I don't think, a tight end on Kyle Pitts' level, and we don't have a 1st round pick, so you're not going in to try to replace him, right? So why not franchise tag him? He put up solid numbers. If you had him in your fantasy team, he probably just drove you bonkers every week because you weren't sure to start him, sit him.
I think his best games, you were already into playoffs or something like that, when he was having some of his best games, depending on around when that time was.
Exactly. So I'm okay with it. You know, I mean, we don't have a lot of weapons. Like we have, you know, one tight end, one wide receiver. I'd really like to see us either in the free agency go for, you know, another wide receiver through free agency or in the draft. You know, just whatever. We need a secondary receiver. So why not? Why get rid of somebody who can actually catch the ball? You know, we don't have a lot of those guys besides, you know, Bijan, Kyle, and you know,
Drake.
Drake London. Thank you. I almost said DJ Moore for something, but no, it's Drake London. So I mean, it's like let's keep at least some guys, some blue chippers on the team that still catch the ball. So whoever's going to be our quarterback.
What would it take to sign long term? Like what are we looking for? what we're looking for. Because even if I was to be like, hey, have a year like you had last year, the year seemed better at the end than it was at the beginning.
Right.
You know?
Just consistent. Just be consistent. I mean, I understand it's like I don't expect you to like catch 10 balls for 100 yards, but can at least get some 6 for 70, 8 for 90. Just
he had the most catches in his career last year. I don't like that. You know what I don't like? I don't like contract year production. I cannot stand it. I can't stand it when they're contract year. So if you're looking at where his years are, they bookend, right? So he had his best year in yards his first year with 1,026. He had his best years in receiving receptions this past year with 88 receptions for 928 yards and 5 touchdowns. But I want to say 3 of those came in one game.
Yes, they did.
And so 3 came in one game and you got 5 for the year. That game doesn't happen. You have 2. Then you had 4. And you know what's interesting? Kyle's pitch touchdowns from 25 to 21 count backwards. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
4, 3, 2, 1. Mm-hmm. Yep.
5 in 25, 4 in 24, 3 in 23, 2 in 22, and 1 in 21. So he's due for 6 this year. If we can kind of keep that pattern. If we can keep that pattern going, that's what he's looking like. Now, his average per reception from a depth standpoint was the lowest it's been, which is 10.5 yards. It would have something to do with the quarterbacks. But when you're looking at his yards, though, another thing that's just concerning, it's how far they differ from each other, Eugene. So 1,000 on the first year, right?
Mm-hmm.
356 on the second year. Maybe he's injured or something. I don't know. But 356 on the second year, 667 on his third year, 602 on his fourth year, and then that jumps up to 928 on this fifth year, contract year here.
Right, good contract year. And the bet you, like you said, what you're saying, how many yards was it like that game, that like the fantasy football playoff games? Because I remember I had him on one of mine, and he literally got me into the playoffs because of his like what that game, he like the 3 touchdown game or whatever. So it's I just, like I said, just be consistent. Can you make that just more throughout the year and not, like you said, one? That's great. Have the one game, but also at the beginning of the year, help out your quarterback. And that's the one thing I just don't see him do a lot of. And just it's like, look, I mean, I hate to compare Travis Kelce, but Kelce will just find an empty zone for Mahomes to throw to him. It's like, I just never saw him.
You think Mahomes, like it's hard because of the Mahomes. I hate bringing up Kelce because of Mahomes. It makes it hard for me. But I do think that it's fair to not be able to mention Kyle Pitts in the same vein as Kelce, right? Like that's fair. That's not crazy. That's not crazy to not necessarily put these guys in the same category. You know what I mean? No matter who the quarterback is. At least at this point.
I'm sorry. Your quarterback was Kyle Trask at Florida, and you put up amazing stats. So don't give me this. That's why we drafted you, because it's not like you had the Heisman just winner throwing to you. I mean, Kyle Trask wasn't trash at Florida, but I mean, don't look at he didn't have a quarterback. He had someone to throw the ball to him, and it's not like he had Cousins, and he worked with and Cousins tried working with him and tried channeling him, trying to how to bring the ball into the body, and it's like he tried helping him out. And so I don't know. I don't, like I said, I don't mind the risk because it's 1 year. We need all the hands we can get, and there's past second, third round. There's going to be some guys, but I'd rather just like, hey, look, we got him. We know what he is. Hopefully, Stefanski can bring it out of him. I was reading somewhere like he's a tight ends guy. That's why he was big on keeping him here. So maybe he can unlock the thing that no other coach has been able to do with him. So I'm okay with it. I'm not mad at it. It's like you said, I'd rather do this than do like a 4 for whatever, and we're on the hook for 3 more years for guaranteed money. Just take a year on a flyer, see what happens.
Yeah, and another thing when you're looking at just production. He's had only when we drafted him 4th overall a few years back. I think it was 4th. I gotta go back and look and see. I keep saying 4th overall. I gotta look back and see. We've drafted so many players at 8, but I feel like he was one of the even earlier draft pick than that. He's had 4 career 100-yard games. Okay, in 5 years. In 5 years, he's had 4 100-yard games. What's more depressing about that is 3 of them came in his rookie year. So out of those 4 100-yard games, 75% of those came in his very first year. He's only had 1 100-yard game that came in 2025. Right. So he went from 2021 to 2025 with no 100-yard games after getting out that 2021 season.
Right.
So 2022, I should say, 2022 through 2025. Those 4 years he went through with only 1 game over 100 yards. It's hard then for me to say that he should be paid like a top wide receiver or top tight end. I will say that the glimpses were there end of the year, $16 million. I mean, it's not, at least we didn't just fall forward and re-sign him to an extended long contract. So I'm going to take it.
Yeah,
I'm going to take it, and hopefully he is able to work his way into the contract. You never know. I mean, he might be able to work his way into it.